Right. Well, um, I'm trying to. There's no. Should we do hobby first? What do we do? Hobby first, don't we? And then we do the cool shit.
That would really warm my toes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's ultimately the goal of why I do anything, really. Make sure your toes are toasty warm. Good morning and welcome to the Hobby Breakfast Show, kicking off your evening with Hobby Chat. I'm joined today by Mare.
Hello.
And
Special guest Onod.
He's here.
I'm here.
Contractually.
Legally obliged.
That's why you read the small print, everyone. And today we're going to be talking about the evil heroes of Valour. We're going to be putting them into a tier list, and with our lukewarm, just like Onod's toes, takes. But first we're going to kick off with hobby. Has anybody painted anything this month?
I have.
Okay, we'll go first with Onod then, as he's painted something.
You didn't let Mare answer the question.
Well, we'll come to Mare in a second. I can
we'll
do
start
one
with you.
person at once.
Okay, let me just open my Instagram.
Okay.
Linked here.
I literally, it's the only way I remember.
What you've painted as your mind slowly slips.
So mainly I've been focused this month around painting up models for my 350 point list that I'm taking to a tournament in May. So I've painted up 7 Dunedain, which are actually the generic Rangers of Middle-earth plastic kit because I'm not a baller. Can't afford those.
Doesn't have those stacks.
Yeah, I can't afford those eBay prices, guys. So yeah, I've got them, and then I've also painted up Arathorn. And again, because I'm not a baller, I couldn't afford the £80 required to fucking buy
Not
Arathorn.
GW legal.
I think you'll find it is GW legal.
Yeah,
it
is,
is.
sorry.
Model.
It's based on a
It's
GW
not
model,
WYSIWYG.
and it is actually WYSIWYG as well.
Well,
But you're a very accurate YouTube commenter because
You're
No, I'm
all
incorrect.
areas. Yeah, so he's based on the Blackroot Vale command kit, the guy blowing the horn, except I got rid of the horn hands, put on a... Where do you think that hand is from? It's a GW kit. I'll give you one guess each.
what's it made of?
Plastic.
It's going to be one you've got duplicates of, and you're not interested in painting. It might be like a Legolas sculpt or a Gimli sculpt. No, not Gimli, but I'm going to say Legolas.
May, your guess?
I'm going to guess. Sorry, what was the question?
Fucking hell. I thought this was going to take like 10 seconds of time, and it's turned into like a 1 minute section of the pod. Where do you think the hand that I put onto Arathorn is from? It's a plastic Games Workshop kit.
The
Please
left hand?
Yeah, please answer quickly.
The one that makes it look like he's holding an invisible mug?
Which is what he's doing.
It's a plastic kit. Oh, God. A Gondor warrior.
You are incorrect. It is from a Uruk-hai, and that is the hand that would be carrying the bomb.
Wow.
Ah, I see it now, yes.
I kind of saw it as more of him like gesturing vaguely rather than holding an invisible mug,
It
but
looks like he's holding a giant invisible penis.
well
I think that says more about you than it does about us.
I think
It's a troll penis. Look, if he's ever fighting a troll, it's going to look very suggestible.
Can we move on?
we're going further in depth with that. Good. Yes, and then there's a little sword on his backpack which I glued on. So he is fully WYSIWYG. And that was way too long talking about that model. I'm going to cut that. I then painted up 8 Hobbit Sheriffs, and I painted up Wholefoot Brace Girdle, and I also painted up 4 Mycenaean Warriors, which is unrelated to Middle-earth, but I painted them up too. Boom. Mic drop. Over to someone else.
next month, I'm going to vow to have completed double what I set out to do this month, which will equate to at least 40 miniatures. I'm painting lots and lots of Star Wars Legion stuff. It's all Empire, and what's lovely about that is it's more or less just black and white. So I've just been using a lot of Apothecary White and Nuln Oil watered down, and some Black Templar watered down. And it's been very satisfying and very quick to paint. I think the bases are actually going to take me longer than the miniatures. So been doing a lot of Death Troopers and Stormtroopers, and bought a bunch of droids. We had our weekend of recording Scouring, which will be coming up soon. So I'm counting that as hobby as well. So yes, some games of Legion. Not as many as you though, OT. I'll send you some in-progress pics.
Okay, that's cool.
Let's just keep interrupting him.
It's a cozy warm.
Toes. Right, I can't actually remember if I've painted anything this month. I probably have, but I don't have an Instagram, so I don't have a permanent record with which to keep track of it.
You do have an Instagram.
I do have an Instagram, and
I
just don't use it. Although it does get more likes than yours does. I don't really know why that is. Like, I don't really know why people prefer my worst painting.
Better at painting. That's why
I'm not. But I have played lots of games of Star Wars Legion. I went to a tournament and it was good fun. I didn't win, but I did go turn 1 and met some nice people. So yeah, that's all I've got for this month.
Did you make anyone cry?
No, actually, everyone was remarkably cheerful. Just to be clear, I haven't actually made anybody cry. I've just some people have said they'll never play Legion again after playing me. But, what can you do, eh? Haters gonna hate. Should we talk about the tier list?
Let's.
Sure.
And we're back with the tier list. And just a quick toe update. They are now moderately warm. Moderately warm. Good. So we're going to be looking at all of the evil heroes of Valour. And Azog is accidentally here too.
Yeah, let's not include him. We'll use him if I forgot somebody, which I probably did, but
it's inevitable. So we are going to be ranking them on our trademarked ranking system, which is very original, with legendary at the top for things that are very good, and Whiff at the bottom for things that aren't very good, and then the other three are just somewhere in between, generally.
No, that does sum it up pretty well.
Yeah. And what are we judging this on?
We're judging this on how well based Games Workshop has done the model, as we know.
It's maybe like the charisma of the character, like what vibes do they give off?
I think it's how many garages do they own.
Okay, it's on how good they are in game and how well they fit into their list.
Who's editing this one?
I'm editing it.
Okay, he's just making his own bed. That's fine.
Well, I'm just going to leave it all in, so it's fine.
So they're going to get the context.
Making his own bed, refusing to sleep in it.
No. They won't get the context. They'll just get the shit.
Okay.
Why do we do this? Why do we have over 1,000 subscribers? Well,
I mean, of the many things wrong with the world, I think it is right up there.
And we're going to be starting off with the Witch King. So
yeah,
he's good. Is my hot take.
Yeah,
he's really good.
He's
very versatile.
You can do a lot with him. For a legendary hero, he can be very cheap. You can run him sub 100. You can not run him sub 100. You can make him fighty. You can make him magicy. You can make him on a
fell beast,
monstery.
Make him dance.
You can make him horsey.
Yeah.
And I am going to guess that he owns at least 7 garages.
Okay.
So I think legendary.
I think he is one of the best heroes of the game and will be right at the top of legendary.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Good. Do we need to kind of distinguish that because we're now looking at generally quite powerful heroes? we need to rank them against each other. Otherwise, they'll all just end up top tier.
And
So
I think
yeah.
in this case, I mean, we're ranking all of these heroes against one another, aren't we?
I think we need to establish though that like there has to be a whiff, and it can't just be the one ruffian character.
Yeah,
like we need to set that out.
Okay.
So we're going to look at the Tainted. Is that right, or is that the Dwimmerlake?
That is the Tainted. Do you want me to read his rules, or do you know his rules?
Let's read his rules for the viewers.
Please read his rules.
So I mean, he's got standard Ringwraith stuff for fight, strength, defense, attacks, wounds, and courage. He's got 2 might, 14 will, 2 fate, channeling, and a sword. And his special stuff is that start of the move phase, before heroic actions are declared, he can spend a point of will, and that means all warrior models within 6 inches of the Tainted can't use the stand fast or benefit from heroic actions of enemy heroes. Or just actually any heroes, so it includes his own. And then also Seeping Decay, start the fight phase, d6 for each non-spirit model in base contact with the Tainted. On a 6, they suffer a wound.
Yeah. I don't know how I never know how I feel about the named Nazgul, because I just have not much experience with the vast majority of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I always kind of look at them on paper, and I feel like that's quite different to them in principle.
Yeah. I think his casting's all right. Like, he's got Transfix on a 3, Compel on a 4, Black Dart on a 5, and Instill Fear and Sapwill and all that stuff. He can Drain Courage on a 2, which is pretty good. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think the problem is, in order to get value from his special rules, he needs to be in combat, and like, I don't know if you want a hero like this in combat all that often. Like, I guess you could throw him in on like the final turn when he might be running low on will anyway, and just go for broke. But yeah, I don't think it's great.
No, it's probably not going to be your first pick, is it?
No. I mean, especially in Angmar, when you have access to the Witch King and Barrow Whites and Gullivar and all this other stuff, like, I think he suffers from, again, being in a list that already has access to very good heroes. So I'd say maybe like top of average, bottom of solid, because the power level is going to be significantly higher with the Valour compared to the previous iterations of this.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's also a weird one because you can't spear support him. Well, you can, but
you could, but he could kill. He would kill
them.
He might kill your own model.
It's friendly or enemy in base contact. Yeah. So are we putting him?
It's probably just an orc, though, isn't it? So.
Well, yeah, but it's still annoying. Are we putting him in average then? Is that right?
I think top of average for now. We'll see how things shuffle around.
I guess the one thing before we move on that I would say in defense, it is interesting that it's at the start of the fight phase.
Yeah.
So you could, for example, kill a cavalry model's horse and dismount them before rolling to duel.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's just so unlikely, isn't it?
You couldn't might this, could you?
No, because it's not
a duel.
It's not one of the specific mightable things.
Yep. Okay.
Right, next we have the
Dwimmerlake.
That is the Dwimmerlake, right?
He has same stuff as the other one for fight, strength, all that stuff. Heavy armor, 2-handed sword. No might, 16 will, 2 fate. Every time a hero model within 6 inches of the Dwimmerlake spends a might, will, point, or fate, the Dwimmerlake may spend a point of will. If he does so, roll a d6 on a 4+. The enemy hero must spend an additional point to make that go off.
Which it's like a worse screamer.
Yes.
But on a way more useful character.
Yeah.
But they way can actually attack and kill this character.
Yeah, way more expensive, I would say, as well.
Yeah. And no might, which is a pretty big oof.
Yes.
I'd say it's probably on a similar level, because I'd find his ability a little bit more useful, but overall, no might and a 2-handed sword that he has to go two-handed with.
Yeah.
Like, that's not ideal, is it?
No. Not having the option to two-hand is not having the option to use it single-handed is pretty crap. So yeah, I think that's fair.
I could see maybe this guy on a Fell Beast getting a little bit of use out of him.
Yeah, but then I think that goes for all of them, right? Like,
True.
like I think just anything on a Fell Beast is pretty scary. So yeah,
Are we putting him in average then?
I put him above the Tainted, but still quite bad.
Yeah.
And now we're going to talk about somebody who's in Legendary.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty insane, right? Like really difficult to use, but the upside is pretty crazy. Like, yeah, I mean, Fly, Harbinger of Evil, Monstrous Charge, Resistant to Magic, Terror. He regains wounds for slaying people in combat. Like, yeah, Fight 7, Strength 8. He's only D5, so he could get shot. And with the changes to flying rules, I guess that does make him worse. But
I think you just get him. You just get him stuck in quick, and you can generally pick who you're fighting. And yeah, there's a reason that everyone thinks he's good. It's because he's good.
Yeah. And also, like, support from the Witch King, right? Like, he's not even in a vacuum. He has just so many options in that list for good supporting heroes.
You got Barrow Whites, you got Deadmau5 Spectres. Like, there's just so much you can do with him in general, which is good. And then we've got Buddha, the Troll Chieftain guy.
Yeah, I really like Burda, but I think his slight problem is that he's in a very competitive list with lots of other really good heroes, and I think that makes it hard to justify him. But yeah, he's got 3 might, strike, fight 6, strength 6, d6, 3 attacks, and he can be a banner, and he's got terror, access to monstrous power attacks. Like, it's all there. But yeah, I think in Angmar you'd probably pick other people above him. I'd put him in solid personally.
He's pretty effective in that game that we played, although I did roll like trash. But
yeah, you did.
He was pretty good. I'd put him in solid, maybe.
Yeah, I think middling solid. I think he's the definition of like he's nothing particularly special, but he's also not trash.
Can anyone else hear like a clicking noise?
Yeah, there was a tiny little bit of crackle when OT was speaking, but it's not too bad.
Oh, it's gone now.
But is it coming now?
It was like a constant drumming.
No, I couldn't hear anything constant. It was just when OT was talking. Anyway, I don't want to do too much editing, so let's move on.
Sorry.
Camel the Easterling.
He is one of the more combatty ones. So he has 2 might, 12 will, 2 fate. He's got channeling, strike, and challenge, which is quite nice. Strike on a Ringwraith. And basically, if he makes a strike against an enemy model which causes a wound, he instantly regains a single point of will. Unless it's saved by fate. He can't go beyond 12. Additionally, he can spend a point of will at the start of the fight phase before heroic actions are declared to increase either his fight value, strength, or attacks by 1 for the remainder of the fight phase. If he's mounted, he can only increase his own. But yeah, so like you can spend a point of will to go to fight 6 or 2 attacks or whatever. Like, it's all pretty nice. Should be said his casting isn't great. It's basically +1 on most of the others. So he's Drain Courage on a 3, Transfix on a 4, Compel on a 5. But yeah, I feel like he's more of a melee specialist than the other ones.
I don't like him personally.
Why not?
Because I think you want to put him on a Fell Beast to get the most out of him being better in combat.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't think you get quite as much out of his rule, because he can only apply it to his own stats. So yeah, sure, okay, you can increase your fight value, but you could just heroic strike, which is better. And I know it costs a might point, but like there's the amount of cases where you're gonna be up against another fight 5 hero, it's worth it. Somewhat limiting. And then I mean, fucking Black Dart on a 6-up.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'd rather take a better caster and put them on a Fell Beast, which probably makes them just as killy anyway. So
yeah.
I mean, I still think he's strong.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad.
In Eastlings.
I don't think he's bad, but like,
I think in Eastlings the Dragon Emperor's kind of surpassed him.
Yeah.
Because also, like, what Eastling list would he go in? Because also Eastlings are green with Mordor, right? So you could just take like the Witch King or something over him. Like, yeah, I don't know.
And
I
he's
think
not in the Legendary Legion, so
yeah. So immediately trash. Maybe like I reckon he sneaks into solid. I think he's better than the others. But like I think bottom of solid, top of average, I think is fine, kind of around that area.
I'd put him in average again personally, but I'll let Mayor decide.
I think bottom of solid. I think he deserves to be a little bit higher.
Oof.
Knight of Umbar.
Dark Marshal.
Oh,
He has very similar hat to the Knight of Umbar.
yeah, no, I see that now with the Knight of Umbar lurking a little further along.
Yeah.
The Dark Marshal then.
Yeah. 2 might, 14 will, 2 fate. Only got channeling. He has rule through fear. Start the fight phase. 4 heroic actions are declared. He can spend a point of will. All friendly warrior models within 6 inches of the Dark Marshal counts being arranged for banner to the end of the turn. Should be noted it's warrior models, so wouldn't affect him.
I mean, I think that's pretty good.
6-inch banner.
It's
Few
fine.
times a game.
It's a shame you have to spend a will point. It kind of feels like there's so many people who do that now without having to spend anything. And spending a will point on a model which disappears when they run out of will is a bit of a bigger commitment than on someone like fucking the mayor from the Shire, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's true.
You heard it here first. Mayor from the Shire is better than.
It's official.
I don't know. I think he's nice, and I think like it also means that he can be more supportive. Like you don't have to have him in melee, and also he doesn't have to be like casting all the time. And a 6-inch banner is big enough that he could sit behind your ranks for a bit and just pop that ability off a couple of times before charging in. Like, yeah, I think it's solid. I'd say he's better than Kamal and Birder probably, but I don't think he makes it into fantastic. I think he's just kind of upper solid.
Yeah, I'd agree. And I guess it's nice Fell Beast base being able to do a 6-inch banner off that. There is obviously some purpose behind that. But yeah, when you think that the Dragon Emperor is doing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's another thing, isn't it?
That's for another video.
But we've already made.
Yeah, I can remake it. Believe me, I've got more. I've got more where that came from.
The Shadow Lord, is that?
Shadow Lord. He is exactly the same. 2, 14, 2. He's only courage 5, for whatever reason. He's just got a normal sword, and he basically has what is it? Blinding light. Is the only thing that makes him different.
Very strong, especially
is strong.
Arad.
Just a really useful ability to have, like especially for an evil army. Like, given you can't get this effect anywhere else, I think it's just a really nice thing to have. And again,
it's
like
not magic, so it just auto does it. Hooray!
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just a really nice thing to have in your pocket. And like again, he can sit behind your lines if he needs to and negate any shooting. I think it also would count on him as well. So yeah. Yeah, I think it's really nice, and I reckon he's fantastic. I don't think he makes it any higher, but yeah. Also, the pose is really cool. I love him with his hands in the air like that. Like, it looks a bit dumb, but that's pretty good.
It's he's T-posing.
Yeah,
It's a field goal.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's good.
Our American listeners will enjoy that. I think just for the sake of making sure that we don't stick too many legendary, I agree. He's going to set the bar for fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Undying. He has heavy armor and a staff. 2-18-0. Start the move phase. 4 heroic actions declared. He can spend a will point to activate ability. Blah, 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 blah. He regains a will point for each magic power successfully cast by another model within 6 inches. So he feeds off other casters. Would feed off friendly casters as well, assuming that hasn't been FAQ'd, which is pretty nice. And he can also spend his will points in the same manner as fate points. So if you are ever at risk of dying, I guess it's nice to have that one in your pocket.
I think he's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he's good though.
Yeah, I think it's quite goofy. I think like if you were running, obviously, like this is nothing particularly insightful. If you were running in with lots of other casters, I think it would be quite fun and potentially like quite powerful. But like, I think also, maybe you're getting like a couple of will back or something, and each turn, and I don't know. Like, I guess it's nice you can spend them the same as fate points. Like, I guess he, if you get it lined up correctly, he really could be pretty invincible. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I feel like it would take a lot of skill to set up properly.
He might be kind of funky for certain missions. So say, you've got him and the Witch King on Fell Beasts, and then for like assassination, they're going to have to try and kill him.
True.
Yes. I don't know whether that's worth the points to do such a thing, but it's a kind of interesting thought experiment.
Yeah.
I guess you could combine him with that orc guy that gives you back will as well.
Kardush, yeah, and then you would truly have like an undying unit.
Is there anyone who has like infinites? Like, could you get him in a list with Sauron?
He's Mordor, so no.
Oh, that's a shame, because then you could just infinitely spam.
Could you yellow him with Saruman?
Yeah, you could yellow him with Saruman. It seems like a lot of effort just to get him a free will point.
It's a goofy combo. It's like us with Bill the Pony.
I think he's probably average, isn't he?
Yeah, I think a very fun concept, but should we note his casting's decent as well. Like 2 for Drain Courage, 3 for Transfix, 4 for Compel. Like it's not bad, but yeah, I don't think he's. I think he'd be very bottom end of solid, or maybe just into fantastic, into average. Right.
I think actually personally I put him above Camel. So should we put him bottom of solid?
Yeah, sure. I think they're all in that kind of area, aren't they? Might of Umbar. He only loses a point of will for a fight if he loses during the fight phase. So he's got 2 might, 12 will, 2 fate, and at the start of the fight phase, 4 heroic actions are declared. He can spend a will point, and he can elect to use the fight, strength, and/or attack values of his opponent instead of his own. So he can just become everything that your opponent has, basically. Should be noted it's before heroic actions are declared, so you wouldn't get a free strike off this if they were to strike.
I think he's one of the better ones, right? Although it is a bit sad that his black die is a 6+.
Yeah, I think, again, similar to Kamal, he pays the price for being better in melee by being a bit of a shitcaster in comparison to the other
I'd rather him than Kamal, though.
Yeah, I think his abilities may be more powerful, although... And I guess, like, if he's not losing will, and as long as he keeps winning, like, that's not bad. So, yeah, I think I'd personally take him over Kamal, but I think it's quite close.
I don't mind.
Nicking the strength value of somebody's kind of cheeky, though.
Yeah, you could do some goofy stuff with it, I'm sure. And especially if you've got lots of other models in the fight, it could be quite interesting. I reckon, I don't think he's into Fantastic, but maybe top of solid, like similar to Dark Marshal type territory.
Yeah. I think it's fair to put him above Camel, around where Birder is.
Mm-hmm.
Camel.
Gothmog.
Yes, although I thought we were going to do all of the
we could do. Oh yeah, do Betrayer next. So Betrayers 2, 14, 2, Bane of Kings, Master of Poisons. He can spend a will point, and basically all poisoned weapons may reroll all failed to rune rolls made with those weapons.
I think Gothmog's pretty good overall.
This is the Betrayer.
We're not talking about Gothmog.
Sorry, I phased out for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really good in Harad, where you can support him with poisoned weapons. But I don't know how much beyond that.
I kind of like him in Harad specifically, but like I kind of almost feel like you could do something with Harad cavalry and this guy and skirmish.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I actually rate him reasonably high. I'm surprised he's not used more.
I think. I mean, I think he's not a Mordor character, right? He's a Harad character, and I think in Harad he's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I mean, the 6-inch bubble's nice. I guess it depends on because it's the start of the move phase, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I think he's better than like. He's definitely above Undying and Kamul. I just don't know where he fits in relation to the the slightly better ones.
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest.
Let's just put him in the middle of solid so that we don't have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, not too much thinking on this one. I'm going to put him above Birder, but
I this is low, but never mind.
Okay, and this is where we're gonna. It's going to turn out that he's absolutely OP in some Harad list, and we've just made like a complete goof.
Nah, because I think that everyone would rather take solid than ally, and Witch King I think is the brutal truth, and that's why it's
pretty brutal.
Gothmog.
Fight 5, strength 4, d6, 3/3, courage 5's not bad, and he's 3/3/1. Can take him with Warg and a shield. He's got March, Strike, Defense, really nice heroics. Master of Battle flat. Imagine if they gave that to another. No, it doesn't matter. Age of Men is over. Age of Men is over. Gothmog and all friendly orc Mordor orcs within 3 inches of him get the Hatred Man special rule, and once per game he can. The time of the orc has come. All friendly Mordor orc models within 12 inches of Gothmog may reroll failed to rune rolls when making strikes.
He's okay. I think he's situationally good. I think that he's one of those characters which, if you're thinking competitively, kind of suffers from people playing evil v evil. Like if you're going to a tournament where you're guaranteeing your evil army is going to play the good army, and therefore you're more likely to be fighting man. But then I guess a lot of evil armies have the man keywords. So it's not the end of the world, but yeah.
I think he's pretty good.
I don't rate him super highly. I just think he's a little bit expensive for what you get. I think 145.
He's expensive, but I mean, for just having Master of Battle.
Yeah, but I think the problem is, I'm just trying to think, what would you use that Master of Battle for most of the time? Like, what are you going to be getting from it? Is it just if
they're gonna try and kill Gothmog, they're probably going to be striking.
Are they? He's only fight 5.
I mean, if you want to try and if you want to try and beat him, but also if you combo him with someone they definitely are going to want to strike against, then he's going to be getting
such as
Witch King's fight 6, right?
Fight 5.
Oh well, never mind then. I don't know. Does Mordor have anyone that's fight 6?
I think this is the issue with Gothmog, right? Like he's a good supporting character, but he doesn't have anyone to support other than the Witch King, who would be better with Saladin.
If he was fight 6, that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I think if he was like 10 to 15 more points in fight 6, it would be different. But like, I don't know. I mean,
he was Azog.
Yeah, well, no, Azog's fight 7. But he's definitely not bad, and I can see like a lot of the time, like move offs, for instance, just having flat Master of Battle is really nice, and a lot of the time it's going to let you steal initiative away for free, basically. And I could see him being really frustrating to deal with in that situation. But like, I mean, maybe you can steal combats, but I think that's a bit niche, and like nobody's going to be striking into him. So yeah, I don't know. I think he's definitely not bad, but I mean, he's not in fantastic, and we've already got 6 in solid. So can we really justify putting another one in solid?
He's good against Rohan. I'll give him that. He's
Yeah,
in his element against Rohan.
it's true. It's true.
Gothmog.
Yeah.
I would be tempted to put him in a tier list made purely of these heroes. I think that he's sitting in average.
Okay. Top of average,
Wow.
I reckon. Better than the others.
I feel like that's really harsh.
I just think there's a lot of guys in this list who are better than him.
Yeah. Like Lurtz.
Yeah, like Lurtz.
Oof. Mouth of Sauron. Fight 5, Strength 4, D6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, Courage 5, 2 for 1. Heavy armor, hand and a half sword, march and channeling. Having march is super nice, really like that. Armored horse for 15 points. He's got terror, drain courage on a 2, transfix on a 3, instill fear on a 5.
I rate him.
For a hero of valor to be as cheap as he is and to have some nice utility, I think it's really nice. And I think actually that transfix is quite annoying to deal with, especially if you're going to be running him with some other casters like Witch King, for instance, which means they might not have any will left to defend against it.
He's just so cheap.
Yeah.
Like when you compare his stats to like his equivalent in like good armies, like that kind of lower tier caster,
yeah,
they all only have 1 might and he gets 2, and it's just like,
oh, and he's got march. Like that's like you would not feel bad. Maybe you save 1 for like a cheeky combat or something when he's charged in, but like if you just double march with this guy, he's kind of taken that captain role, except he can actually cast, and that's pretty good. So yeah, I think for his points, like he might even be in fantastic just because he is really good value.
Yeah, he's great value, and I think he works well with Witch King.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he works well with any of the Ringwraiths if you want him to be fair.
Yep. No, big fan.
Can you take him in the Blackgate Legendary Legion?
Yeah, you can with the troll.
Yeah, that'd be quite fun as well.
Yep.
I've played against that with them both. It was.
And how was it?
Was it good?
I mean, it wasn't that. Well, it was pretty strong. I think the combination of the troll and the mouth is good.
Yeah. Cool.
And the Black Legion gets some nice bonuses. So yeah,
I reckon.
For some reason, it's decided to end my screen cap, so I'll just have to restart that in a second. But keep talking, and I will just put something up.
Okay. Let's talk about Durbers. We're heading over to Moria now.
Yes, Durbers. I mean, none of the Goblin heroes are like massively influential, are they? But he's fairly cost effective. What's special about him?
70 points, fight 4, strength 4, d6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 3/2/2, heavy armor and a sword. He's got strike and defense as well as resolve, whatever. And his stand fast has a range of 12 inches.
So, I mean, the stand fast, I guess, is going to be useful for goblins.
Yeah. He's the highest fight model in your list aside from the Balrog and all the monsters. Like everything else will be fight 3 or fight 2.
There's a way of giving him more fight as well, right? If you take him with
Groblog. Yep. Get him to fight 5. Not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
I think he's solid. I think he is in solid, unfortunately. Like it's hard. I think it'd be very harsh to put him in average, but the fact he's the same points as the Mouth of Sauron,
it's a very different list, though, isn't it?
It is a very different list, and he is solid, and like as a leader, he would probably be fine. So, feels weird putting him in solid with all the other characters, but just because he's quite cheap and efficient, and getting in 15 goblins for a 70-point hero isn't bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did I just speak over you, or did I not?
You're speaking normally now.
Okay, I'm trying to work out how I'm going to sync this up audio to. I'm going to move Durbers, and I'm going to say, as I pick him up, flying frisbees. There we go. Where am I putting him?
I'd put him towards the bottom of solid, next to the Undying.
Cool. It's Big Boy Lurtz. I've had a change of heart about Lutz that I will discuss later, but I will let you.
Is he even worse than you thought he was?
I'll let you guys talk about him in a. Off you go.
He's
as
rubbish.
As an Isengard player, I feel like there was a missed opportunity here. They made him better than he was in the last edition, which is good, but he's still not as good as he could have been. He's not as fun as he could have been. His rule is fine, but not particularly exciting. He should be fight 6, and he should have some kind of crippling blow rule, but
he shouldn't be fight 6.
He should be burly with hand and a half. That's my argument. He should be fight 6 against heroes or something like that.
Nah, I think fight 5 is fine.
Okay, cut to you saying that you want him to be fight 6 in a previous video.
Did I say that?
When we reviewed Legendary Legions for Isengard, when we were doing, I'm pretty sure we talked about how Lutz could have been made a lot cooler. Maybe that was just in the context of a Legion. I'm not sure. But yes, I don't think he's great. I think he's fine. He's just another slightly above average captain for Isengard. He's not any more killy than the other ones. He's a little bit more survivable because he's D6 with a shield, so that's good at least. Well, no, he's just D6, isn't he? The shield doesn't actually give him extra defense because he's got a bow.
Yeah.
So it's a bit disappointing that you have to take him with a bow. Like, I'd rather have a Lutz that's D7 without a bow.
Mm-hmm. Could he have like Oblivious to Pain like the Berserkers do? Or would that be too good?
It would be too high variance.
It's only a 6 up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not consistent enough.
You might as well give it to him though, I think, is the argument.
Or make it a 5 up.
No, that's too good.
It's only 1 extra wound. It's only like 1.3 extra wounds.
He's fucking bear at that point.
Yeah, without the bear stats.
But then if it's a 5, you could use might on it, right? And like you would just save like a might point or 2 to make those rolls more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hot take. I think I might now like Lutz's scouts.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right. That's
from a competitive point of view, or
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't think that it's gonna like be winning all of the tournaments anytime soon. I think it's better than people think it is.
It's fine at low points.
Why do you think it's better than people think it is?
I actually think that the special rules do actually give you a few things to do, and I also think that you can do what Ugluk's Scouts does, but I kind of feel like it streamlines Ugluk's Scouts in a way that's helpful, because I almost feel like Ugluk's Scouts, you spend so much time trying to make 8-inch move Orcs and 6-inch move Orcs work together, that by just cutting that out and maxing out bow limit for the Orc bows and getting a drummer and just running around shooting, I actually kind of think that might be okay. I
mean, I will say I don't want that playstyle to ever be good. Like if you're built on just running away the entire game and shooting on like 4 or 5 pluses, that sounds like a fucking miserable experience.
And that's why I'm going to collect this.
And I will not play you.
Yes, you will. I will force you to play me. I also kind of think that Heroic Challenge, with Lutz's specific version of it, I actually don't think it's dreadful.
What, in the Legion?
In the Legion. I think being able to Heroic Challenge little guys situationally quite useful. And also the wording of Heroic Challenge is quite interesting. Having never really given it much attention, but then actually reading it, I think it can potentially get you out of some jams.
We do like jam.
I love jam, but I want to get away from it in this case.
I'm putting him at the bottom of average.
Yeah, that's fair. Sadly.
I'm going to use my executive writer's editor to move him one place up from the bottom.
Above the tainted. Right. Amder. Lord of Blades.
He's phased
Best-
out of fashion.
I was about to say he's the best Eastling hero, isn't he?
Yep. I think like
Um,
Camel, he just doesn't look as good anymore, does he? Sad times.
I mean, if you wanna talk about like heroes in a competitive list, good lord. Like you have to be so good as an Eastling hero now. Like you've got to beat Ratabi, Dragon Emperor, arguably Brogear as well. Like oof.
Still waiting for someone to ally Dragon Emperor in with Witch King. When's it going to happen? Come on.
I don't think it's that. I mean, I'm quite surprised it hasn't happened yet. To be honest, I think it sounds pretty impressive.
It can't be very good, I think, is the conclusion.
maybe that's
not
the
Too many
happening.
points.
Anyway, so he is fight 6, strength 4, d6, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 5. He's 3/3/1. He has Elven Blade. It's hand and a half. He's got strike and challenge. Armored Horse 15 points. Eastlings treat him as a banner. Note that is a 12-inch banner as per the Dragon Emperor buff. No, just kidding. It's just a fucking normal banner. If he kills specifically the enemy leader, it goes to a 6-inch banner. When an enemy model in combat with him declares a strike, Amder may declare the same one for free. If he's already declared one, he may change his choice, but he doesn't get the might point.
You sounded a bit salty though.
I mean, the thing is, Amder isn't bad, right? Like he's fine. But his existence is now pointless because I can't see a scenario where putting him in over the Dragon Emperor or Ratabi is ever correct. Like maybe because you want a hero on a horse who can get knocked down and be a bit more flexible, like maybe.
I do wonder whether a Amder, Rutabi, Brogear, regular Eastings force would be good, and just no one is willing to try it because why would you when you can play Dragon Emperor?
I think it would. The problem is it would be less consistent, and I think when you are playing this game very competitively, you want a list that is reliable and that doesn't rely on maybe like a big hero winning a combat and getting the knockdown and all this stuff. Like you can just grind people out with Beastlings, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
But I really like him. I think it's a really cool design. I think like getting a bonus for killing a specific model is a cool idea. I think getting free strikes is a cool idea. Yeah, I think he's just made pointless by the existence of other better models. So
being able to change the heroic action to a strike is pretty cool as well.
Yeah. Lets you do some cool stuff. I mean, I'm trying to think where he goes. Like, I would feel bizarre to put him in Fantastic, but I think he would almost merit it in a way. Like, I think he's really good.
I guess it's how much do we include context of the list in our
true.
thinking.
I mean,
and also, do we think that it's fair to rate him outside of the Legendary Legion and just kind of say if you were going to do a regular Easterlings army, he's this good?
I don't know if there's a right answer to that. I think, I mean, if we're taking, I mean, how much would it knock him down if we were to take the context? Would he go into solid or even lower?
I don't know. I mean, looking at everything else in solid, I actually think he's probably value for points. What he does, maybe a little smidge better than those combat Nazgul.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that really good people could probably get more use out of the combat Nazgul because of the magic, but
on average for the average player, I'm going to put him bottom of Fantastic, but I think you could
let's do that.
Arguments either way.
Yeah,
the Golden King. Oh,
sad times.
He's another sad boy.
It's fucking sad.
Could have been so cool.
Tell you
I
what,
like the fat guys though. They're fun.
Yeah, He's got one rule that the Dragon Emperor doesn't have. He's fucking burly, isn't he? He 200 weapon Golden Throne. Golden Throne counts as a banner, and he doesn't suffer the -1. He's got one heroic. Can you name that heroic?
Resolve.
Resolve. Well done. Yeah. Otherwise, it would be quite useful. And riches beyond renown. He's fight 4, strength 4, D5, 4 attacks, 4 wounds, courage 4, with 2/6/2. He may spend any number of will points whenever an enemy hero model takes a courage test within 12 inches. The target's courage model is reduced by 1 for each point of will the Golden King spends in this way. The Golden King may even wait for the courage test to be rolled before choosing whether to spend any will points. The target can then use might or will to alter it afterwards, but you can basically knock them down after they've rolled it and then go from there.
I mean, I think it's cool. I don't think he's that good.
No.
I think you could make a really themey, fun list out of it, and I like that, and I think I want to reward that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could really think of as to why he might be useful, he does come with a banner, right?
Yeah, basic banner.
Yeah. I could maybe see you getting a little bit of use out of his special rule by pairing him with a Nazgul.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that makes him worth it by any means, though, and I'd probably say in this list of characters that there's an argument for him to be in whiff for 130
points.
Oh my
mean,
god!
like,
I know he's 4 attacks, but fight 4 man's real feel bad.
I mean, like, question: is he better than like the Mouth of Sauron, for instance?
No.
On a 1-on-1, yes. Points wise, though, no.
I mean, like, he's
certainly not better than 2 Mouths of Sauron
for the same point.
For the same points.
It's true. Yeah, I think he's in whiff, isn't he? He's not a good hero. Right. Let's talk about Sid. I don't. So rude, but probably so true. Yeah, I mean, did anyone have the book? I haven't got the book.
Neither do I.
He is fight 4, strength 4, D4, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, might 2, 1 will, 1 fate. He causes terror, but only to hobbits. He can do the normal thing where he can put them in chains if he wants to, like all of the ruffians have some variety of that. He never counts as unarmed, which is a thing.
I mean, if they shatter his club, like, that's pretty nice.
He has a knife, a club, and a whip. So you've really got to fucking want him to.
He's got an arsenal.
That Black Shield Shaman.
It would be a lot of commitment to cast Shatter on him twice. Is all I'm gonna say. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. Maybe spend your will elsewhere. He's what, 40 points was he or something?
He's 45.
Okay. I mean, he counts as a banner, right? He doesn't banner himself, but he banners everybody else. Like, that's not bad.
Isn't it only if he does something though? I don't know if it's strictly.
I think he is just a flat banner.
Okay. I thought it was like he was only a banner against hobbits or something like that.
What, against hobbits? How does that work?
I don't think so.
As in, like, if the ruffians are fighting hobbits, he counts.
Right, hang on. I'll look at fucking ruffians. Sids. Okay, I mean, it doesn't have his rule there, so that's not good.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing, so I couldn't be bothered to go get my book.
Fuck's sake.
Tell me a tale might have it.
Okay, citation needed. He's probably a banner. Either
once
way,
again, I just want to say, if you do want good Middle-earth content, please do look at the Tell Me a Tale blog.
Yeah. I'm going to put him at the top of whiff.
Yeah, that's fine.
Azog is hero of legend, so we can ignore him. his child, Bolg. Don't know. Don't know if
Yes.
that's canon, but it is in my head canon.
It is canon.
Okay. He is fight 7. Good. Strength 5.
That's fucking insane.
D7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 5, 331. Heavy armor, 200 pick. He's got marks, strike, strength, and challenge. He can take a fell warg and an orc bow. They all gain the Morgul arrow special rule, which I'll go in a second. He gets ancient enemies dwarf and ancient enemies elf, and he is burly, so he is strength 5 burly. Bringer of Death. Bringer of Death. Each time, so you record the models he slayed. Once he's killed 2 or more, he causes terror. Once he's killed 5 or more, he gets Harbinger of Evil. Crikey. And once he has killed 10 or more, he gets Mighty Hero.
I think even without that rule, he's legendary, just base.
Yeah. So for a Morgul arrow, each time a model suffers a wound from this model's shooting attack and doesn't die, it's basically poisoned, and at the start of each subsequent turn you roll a d6, and on a 1 it suffers a wound, so you basically just get a bit of a ticking clock on an enemy hero.
I mean, yeah, he's just straight legendary, isn't he? He's just really good.
Yeah. He also has Limousine Warg.
Yes, the stupid fucking wide base. Also worth noting, a lot of the time, if he's in the Legion, he's going to be getting Master of Battle as well as Mighty Hero. So, and that's Master of Battle flat, not with a 4 or anything like that.
Is that the
army bonus?
Is that the Legion, or is that? Oh, you mean Azog's Legion?
Legion, yeah.
Right, got you. Yeah, which is strong, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. Makes the Iron Hills army bonus look a bit worse. I'm going to put him below the Witch King, but above Gulliver.
Putting him above Gulliver. I've put him below Gulliver.
I think he's just he's just going to do so much. I just don't think he needs as much careful handling as Gulliver. I think he can be more of a wrecking ball.
But I think that Gulliver with careful handling is better.
True. I think maybe the high points of Gulliver are higher, but maybe just Bolg is more consistent. And I think no, actually that's not true. I don't know. I think it's very close.
Tell us why we're both wrong in the comments.
Yeah. Tell us why Sid should be anyway.
Spider Queen.
That's some legendary shit right there. Jesus, she's so good.
She's high five.
Fucking broodlings, man. What the fuck is that?
Broodlings good.
I mean, then they're just fast. They're not good.
Just having them for objectives.
They're not good, but her ability to spawn them is good.
Her ability to move and then spawn them another 10 inches away is what's good.
Yeah, and that they can move and charge when they're summoned.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The real question is, where does she go? Legendary. I don't think she's as good as Witch King.
No, I think she's bottom of legendary, but she's still legendary.
That is fair. We'll put her there.
Yeah. Phenomenal. Right. The rotating cast of fucking Nazgul.
Oh fuck! Here we go. This is like dwarf flashbacks. It's just a
just do them all because they're all the same with a very
list
slight
of Hobbit fucking things. Also, I don't know which one's which.
It doesn't matter. Nobody else can.
Basically, the 2 that can teleport are the best ones. Everything else is the same.
Okay.
Just read out their special rules.
Do you want me to read their basic stats, or do you not care?
Are they all the same basic stats?
Yes.
Okay, do that then.
Okay. They're fight 5, strength 4, d6, 2 attacks, 1 wound, courage 6, and they've got 2 might, 1 will, 0 fate. And they come back on a 3+ or a 2+ if you've got the necromancer knocking around. And obviously stuff like the ring isn't invisible to them and things like that. Your options are, so I guess we treat this as the first one, even though the picture's probably wrong. The Witch King of Anmar, he has 3 might instead of 2, which is pretty nice. Camille the Easterling, he's got armor and a 2-handed mace, and he's got 3 attacks instead of 2. The Dark Headsman, he's got armor and an axe. He if he scores a natural 6 when rolling to strike, when doing the dual roll, that strike causes D3 wounds instead of 1 wound. So should we rate those 3 rather than just try and remember them all? Or we
I don't know if I'm picking up the right one, but sure. Witch King, which we'll say is the first one.
Yeah.
3
might instead of 2.
Fine.
Yeah. I don't really care.
Bottom of solid.
I'd put him. Well, the thing is, I think by themselves they're average, but with the like support and the bonuses, they maybe get a bit better.
They're only D6.
True, but the fact that they could just infinitely come back.
Yeah. I guess that just really depends on how well your opponent rolls, though, doesn't it?
True, it's true.
I just really dislike these models.
Yeah. I've played against them a few times, and once they run out of might for their coming back, like they pretty much die. There's also very little the player can do once everything does reach combat, which makes them a little bit tricky to play. Like you've got to play knowing that when you get caught, your opponent's just going to surround your models constantly and kill them until they actually die properly. They're not that good individually. They're just good at staying around, and that's not a fun way to play an army. I think they're fine. They're not like massively competitive. So, yeah, I would say middling overall.
What they did with the Lord of the Rings Nazgul is so much more interesting.
It is. They just got bored.
Kamal has 3 attacks instead of 2. I feel like, again, that's kind of meh. Like, I don't really care. Dark Headsman with his wound thing. I think that's actually a bit worse. He maybe goes into average. Like, I just don't think that's that cool. There's another one that has a spear. He's called the Forsaken. He may reroll all failed rolls to wound.
I'm just going to say executive decision. They're all top of average.
Okay. Sure.
Is that fair? I feel like they're, in my mind, I'd be looking at Gothmog and going like, yeah, they're cheaper than him, but he probably does more stuff.
True.
Yeah. And I don't know which one's which anyway, so...
Who cares?
Who cares? Sorry, people who like this army, but you're wrong.
Yes, I was going to say. Cool, we'll move on then. So I'm just whacking them all into average. Next one is the Trolls.
Only 2 of them, though.
Only 2 of them. They'd be too powerful if they were
one
all
is in Fortitude. You
for
can't
no reason.
ally him with a yellow. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that is probably it, isn't it? Like
one with the soup.
Well, that rule was FAQ'd in after they decided which heroic tiers they're in, so it's just fucking
probably
arbitrary.
A typo.
Sneezy
Jay just
Troll.
didn't like the one that made the...
Sneezy Troll is fine.
Yes.
But he's not good.
No.
He's not bad.
He is fight 6, strength 6, d6, 3, courage 3. He's only got 1 might, 3 will, and 1 fate. His only heroic is defense. And he can sneeze on people for a will, which halves their fight value. And he may perform squash them to jelly, which instead of making strikes, every enemy model in the fight suffers a strength 6 hit.
So the one thing I will say is I think Sneeze is essentially a more useful tool than Heroic Strike is, because there's less randomness to it.
Yep. Well, your strikes are always shit.
Well, yeah, if you don't roll above a 4 on the dual roll, that is a problem. But theoretically, the Sneeze is more consistent and I think better than having Heroic Strike. So that does somewhat counter the fact that he only has 1 might and only has heroic defense. It's still not good though.
No.
But the main problem with the Trolls is that they're only ever going to be able to be played at 400 points, and they can only use each other. And then if you ally them, they're fine, but probably not worth the points that you're paying to ally them in. And that's kind of where the Trolls are.
Yep, I think that's fair. I'm going to put him middling average.
Yeah, and the issue with, like, last time we put that other troll fairly high, but that's because all of the Fortitude heroes are significantly worse. when you've got fucking Valour heroes, you know.
Yep. Fork troll or club troll or whatever.
Fork troll is actually quite good.
Yep. So he basically has +1 to all his stats compared to Sneezy Troll. So fight 7, strength 7, D7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 4, 311 is nice. He's got strike, which is nice. And his mince and fine power attack's pretty good. You basically take the difference in your strength, and you both roll a d6, and the difference in the resulting sum is how many wounds you would do. So
best brutal power attack in the game? Question mark.
No.
What's better?
Hurl.
Okay, maybe situationally with eagles or fell beasts.
I just think hurl is because in an army with a monster in, you're often going to be outnumbered, and I think hurl lets you deal with that in a way that other brutal power attacks don't let you do.
Yeah. Best brutal power attack for killing heroes then? Question mark.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, he's good, and 150 points is, I think, a fair price to pay. They're never going to be like meta breaking, but they're also not trash. So yeah,
I think for 150, there is an argument to be made that he may be an okay ally sometimes.
Yeah, but not an auto pick ever. I don't think, like it as in for not something you'd look to like hard ally in necessarily. Like you wouldn't build a list around it.
Yeah, bottom solid.
I think a little bit. I think middling solid. I think he's above the shitty combat rates.
I'll put him with Birder.
Fair.
And then finally we've got Rutavi.
That is fucking legendary. Next to Bolg.
Ooh. I think that's a bit high.
I think that's maybe I'd be more looking like similar to Amda personally.
Really? Fucking hell.
Top of fantastic.
Oh, I think she's legendary. I just think the fucking value you get.
It is very good value. 3+ Master Battle is insane.
And like, she'd be fine without it. She's 110. She's so cheap.
It's only 20 points more than alerts, and she's got Master Battle 3+. Yeah, put her in legendary. That's fine.
Fucking bullshit. Jesus Christ.
Got top of fantastic bottom legendary. She's around there. Should we now talk about the heroes which OT missed?
Sure. Which are those?
So first of all, we have Razgush, War Leader of the North.
Oh yeah. Trash.
You just put everything we missed into Whiff.
Razgush is in Whiff, isn't he?
People want. Razgush is just Shagrat, but with more steps.
Worse. Yep.
Is that all we have to say about him?
I mean, he's just statistically worse than Shagrat. Like, I don't understand why you would put him in. I guess against if you were really countering elves, sure. But otherwise, I don't see a reason to take him.
We haven't done Delgamar, Gatemaster of Umbar.
Who's that?
Corsair prick.
Okay, I'll get his stats. I think this might be one of the least professional recordings we've ever done. This is bad even for us.
It's definitely a recording.
It's technically content. He will be in Pirates.
That's what the list is called. Pirates.
It's just Captain Jack. Oh, for fuck's sake. Corsairs, there we go. Delgamar. He is fight 5, strength 4, d5, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 311. He's got sword, armor, whip, throwing daggers. He friendly Corsair models within 3 inches of Delgamar may choose to reroll a single dice during dual roll. If they do this and fail to win, they immediately suffer a strength 2 hit. And his only heroic is strength. He is 75 points.
Womp womp. I think some people like him. I don't think he's anything special.
It's definitely not bad. Like, I think, I mean, it's a conditional banner, right? Like it, and I don't know. I think it's maybe better in a list that is low defense and glass cannony anyway, because you're so reliant on winning the duel rolls that, you know, who really cares, right? If you lose, like, it doesn't really matter that much. So yeah.
True.
I mean, the thing is, against all these other more powerful heroes, I don't want to put another one in average, but it kind of feels like he's average.
Yeah. We didn't put enough in whiff, I think, is the issue.
Well, we haven't put enough at the top end, to be honest. We've only got, what, like 2 or 3 in Fantastic?
It's just a very middle of the road fucking...
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to put him middle of average, above Lurtz.
Fair. I think that is everyone now.
Yeah. I really thought there'd be more.
I think evil heroes, there's just never as many as you think there are.
Mm.
And everyone just takes the same 4 anyway.
Yeah,
so.
True.
Narrows it down. Good. And for those of you who were hoping that we would rectify the fact that we missed out a load of heroes from the last episode, no. So we're going to be talking about news now. Any interesting news? Did we talk about Arnold Cavalry, or was that after last episode?
I think that was after last. I think that was after last one.
Hot takes then. What do we think? Good, bad, yay, nay?
I mean,
it was a horse joke.
Arnold needed support. That's all I know.
I mean, the big thing holding Arnold back is that the models aren't in production. So if they bring in the hard buff of putting the models back into production, I think you're going to see Arnold knocking around, because I think at middling points like 400 to 600, I think it just is really efficient and has what I presume will be some pretty nice cavalry in there as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't know how powerful they're going to be, but the models look fairly cool, so that's the thing.
Yeah, nice looking models. They will be Forge Worlds though, so they will be astronomically expensive. And
I think you mean the expert kit.
Sorry, yes, expert 15 plus.
Yeah.
They will be an expert 15 plus kits, so they will be phenomenally expensive. Yeah,
but to be honest, Arnold's a fucking expensive army anyway, because none of it's in production, so I presume that won't actually be that much of a barrier.
Yeah, and I guess the nice thing about releasing models so infrequently is your customer base are willing to then pay a ridiculous amount for the very small amount of models that you do release. So, good job, Games Workshop. You did it again.
There was also them packing loads of the Osgiliath terrain together into a big box, so you can buy that.
Do we know if that's actually a discount box, or is it just...
it's actually it's more expensive. You pay a premium for having it all in one box.
Wouldn't surprise me.
You get a severed head with every 2 purchases.
You get that £30 tiny head terrain. I think it's more than £30 now, actually.
Oh, hang on, I'll type in severed head price and see what comes up.
Oh, I don't know if you want that on your fucking Google.
Somebody else talk about something while I type this in.
This is phenomenal audio, I was going to say.
This is just straight garbage. Has anything else happened?
It's £30 exactly. There you go.
Oh, nice. Any other releases?
No, not really. Games Workshop cut a load of kits from Age of Sigmar, which people are angry about, which is funny.
Yeah.
Lol.
The company who makes Star Wars Legion got landed with, like, how much debt was it? Like 500 mil or something? Like,
I think it's
Why does that happen?
I think it's 900 mil.
I don't know.
Why?
Do you want the explanation, or
I think it's pretty fucked.
Like, surely they're not going to be able to cover that debt.
so the company which owns Atomic Mass Games, which is owned by Asmodee, which is part of the Embracer Group. The Embracer Group was a few billion in debt. And so the way that they have resolved this is they took out a 900 million loan, and they used Asmodee, the assets, as the basically insurance. So basically the loan is taken out in Asmodee's name. And so therefore, should they not be able to pay back the loan, Asmodee would be liquidated. And then in order to therefore take that debt off their books, they then restructured their business so that Asmodee is no longer part of the Embracer Group, because the Embracer Group no longer exists. So Asmodee went from being part of a group that was massively in debt to most of the debt being directly given to them, and then the rest of the group fucked off and left them with the debt.
Have you seen who the loan's with as well?
Isn't it with like Goldman Sachs?
It's like JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, and Societe Generale. They're gonna fucking.
I think quite seriously, Asmodee, who make a lot of very popular board games, could be in significant trouble, because looking at their profits, this is the equivalent of like 4 years worth of profits, and that's not adjusting for things like inflation. And obviously that's assuming that they would continue to make money in the same way that they have been. And obviously they've got operating costs whilst under a tremendous amount of debt, so there is a chance that they're gonna go out of business, and Catan and
Ticket to Ride
and other well-known games will presumably then be carved up amongst other companies that buy the IP. And what happens with their deal with Disney to continue making these Star Wars and Marvel products?
Who can say?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. So it might be worth, if you are into Legion, buying the stuff you want now. Yeah.
Maybe we should. I mean, we could start a Patreon. We could try and buy some of the rights. What do you reckon we could get?
I reckon they'd sell us the rights to the Boba Fett quite cheap. The Boat Chronicles of Boba Fett, whatever the fuck it was.
The Book of Boba Fett.
We can buy the rights to like one episode. Just the worst possible Boba
I reckon
Fett
they'd
episode.
just
with the bikes.
I reckon they just give
the Power Rangers.
I reckon they just give us the rights just in the hopes that more people would go and watch on Disney Plus.
There you go. That's our financial plan going forward. Oh, cool.
Exclusively Book of Boba Fett content going to the channel. We're not going to be covering Middle Earth anymore, just Book of Boba Fett.
We're contractually obliged, and we have to only say nice things. Weren't those bikes such a bright colour? Like, you've never seen that before, have you?
Man, I fucking loved it when that lizard crawled inside him. That was a real highlight of my day.
Do you remember when he got into the Bacta tank for the 15th time in 2 episodes? Oh, yes.
Do you remember when that character that you like more turned up for 2 episodes, and there was more character development and interesting stuff in those episodes than in the rest of them about the main character?
Yeah.
How we laughed.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it when the big monster kaiju fought the big droid, though. That was fun.
I don't think it's called a kaiju. I'm going to be honest.
The Graknok.
I think it's Mothra, isn't it?
No, the Sarlacc's the snake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, fucking brain. Drag this up from Lego Star Wars. No, I can't.
Trying to think of?
Can't remember it.
Are you actually thinking of a crate dragon? Is that what you're looking for?
No, the big monster that lives in Jabba's basement.
Oh, Oh my god, I can't remember it either.
We're not allowed to
Oh.
end the recording till
Yeah,
we
till
remember what
we-
it is, guys.
Four hours long.
I just remember the guy crying when it dies, and he makes like
Yeah,
a really. He's like. That's the noise he makes. In Return of the Jedi. I can't remember what it's called. The Crawlack?
No, stop
No.
guessing. That doesn't help.
The Rancor.
Rancor.
It's pretty close to Crawlack.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, do you not remember when he rides around on the Rancor?
That's
do.
in Lego Star Wars.
No, it happens
does,
in
but
Book of
Boba
Boba
Fett
Fett.
I know. I'm just trying to exit from this as smoothly as possible.
You're not allowed. We're Book of Boba Fett now. That's all we
Okay.
talk about.
Thank you to embrace a group.
Thank God they got into so much debt.
They land us with like 50 million of debt. We just
Yeah, in exchange for taking on the Book of Boba Fett license, you're also going to have to take on 50 million debt. What a deal! Oh, for fuck's sake. Good. Well, I think we'll finish off there. Well done for making it this far through. That's all I can say to the 3 viewers left, including Hunsler. You have been joined today by OT.
Yes, you have been joined by me.
You were joined by the mayor,
Bye.
and Onod was also here.
Go and watch the Book of Boba Fett.
Please do. We need to sell that
With
50
our
million of debt
link
quick.
in the description.
Follow our
Follow
affiliate.
our affiliate
Disney-
link to the Book of Boba Fett.
Disney Plus.
It's like Disney Plus, but you can only watch Books of Boba Fett. $6.99 a month. Merchandise coming soon.
Oh.
Rancor pod. Rancor body pillow would sell well.
Oh.
Why is it still recording? Fucking ends the misery. One more.